incredible series to be kicking off our playoffs. I did not know at any single moment what was going to happen, just that we are in for a roller coaster. And in the end, the one thing I didn't expect most happened. Roy ended up being right for once on the predictions. Congratulations. Give it up.
Yes.
That's an M80 victory for you.
Yes. Come on, give me my flowers, Vans. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, talk to me. Yeah, I never thought I feel like I just won the match, but I'm just on the day.
I'm been made a clown.
Yes.
You got me. Your theory about first org jitters was true. And I'll have to start. Yeah, I'll have to start using that at every analyst desk that I do now for any new team that gets picked up or any new player that gets picked up.
I love it. I love it. But no, let's get serious though. This was an insane series. I mean, yeah. I think there was a point where like we just thought, oh, okay, this is just over. Rankers just look way too good on pro. Like what the heck's happening? What is this composition here for the M80 side? But then when things started to get a little bit close, we're seeing like a 10-8. We're seeing the score slowly just get taken, getting brought back. It's getting brought back. And when we went in OT, we're all like, oh wait, this is a real deal now. And for them to come out on top, giving Rankers, giving Envy their first defeat, it is just a massive statement and probably a huge boost to their mental and their confidence going forward as well.
Yeah, if I want to think about agent compositions too for both of these teams, without even thinking about the questionable Sky that we had in the beginning, but more onto why do we see Kane Zero on a Jet instead of playing an ISO? And I feel like it's Envy. We're just anticipating M80 to still play this Neon on a Sato on this map where they played it last week, I think, if not mistaken. So now you have a Jet that can play like this elevation on top of the boxes. So you could try to get the picks off the Neon between the Neon walls. But then Sato comes out with a Jet and Sato still pulls out the attacker side Jet. And you're still posted up on angles where Sato's going to win those moments. And he's been a pivotal point for those entries for M80 to be able to play like the plant and then delays and then fight towards the utility in the end. So I love it that both teams kind of came overly prepared for this third map. And the chess game went in favor of M80 in terms of that prep, thanks to that.
As well for M80, I mean, you highlighted Sato and this Jet, yeah, fantastic. But even across the board, the impact from everyone on the team, I mean, there was discussion about the Sky going into this, but some really big moments, especially later on in the game, to really set the rest of the team up for success. And then Bao and Oki, I mean, Roy, without them, we would already be on to the next series, in my opinion. Like the performance they were putting up, not just here, but even Bao in that last map. Oki's just been lights out. Like huge round of applause.
I think the Oki shout out is massive because going into playoffs, I'm pretty sure he was like near the bottom of the scoreboard. So that just goes to say that bro is just an overtime warlord. There's really not much else to say. Bao was the one really doing all the legwork throughout the first 24 rounds. And as soon as we got into OT, it was just Oki.
I just remember there was some part in the game and you're like, yo, Vance, who's popping off right now for M80? What's going on? I was like, yo, there's definitely Bao. And then there's also Oki. And then we looked at the scoreboard and Oki was like 11 and 17 or something. It's like, he's not even fragging. But then suddenly he drops like a 4K in that round number 24 with an operator of all things. And then on a 2v2 towards the end to close out the map to combine another 4K to be able to win that series for M80. But it also isn't for... It wouldn't have happened, those rounds for Oki, if it wasn't for Bao as that KJ. That's another compositional change that came out of M80, by the way, because Bao before was playing a little bit more of a delay as a controller, as the Astra earlier on. But now as a KJ, delayed well enough, used his util accordingly, and also in those post plans found great timings on those one and done swings that capitalized into like a 2K, 3K that really helped M80 get to across the finish line in this OT.
Yeah, the impact of those two is just absolutely incredible on the match. And this M80, this is just looking better and better each time we see them play. So they're running the upper bracket continues, and Bao is now on the line for the post-match interview. So let's go hear their thoughts ahead of this series. Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
That is the win up against the #1 seed. That was such a close match. What's going through your mind right now?
I mean, it's a pretty easy win. We choked some rounds, unfortunately, on Lotus. And we got to a rough start at the beginning of some of our matches, but close it out here, you know. Just excited to see our team like finally get potential with Sato playing now. because before this match we only had practice with them for like 2 days. So it's good to see that we're performing with them now.
It's really exciting to see this M80 squad just scale up more and more with each game, with Sato being more and more integrated. But I want to circle back to easy win, because looking at this, we went to all 3 maps. This was a crazy one. You were down on that last one of Pearl too. So you say easy win, but I want to know what actually happened to get that turnaround to be able to close this out.
I mean, yeah, they started off well. They were snowballing us on a lot of these rounds, but I mean, we just all kept a good mental. We knew we were going to come into this match winning. So we just had to keep up our good comms, good mental, and then we just ended up winning. Just as simple as that.
Sometimes the best solution's the simple one. So back to Sato and the rest of the squad. We get to see Sato be able to play more. We're also seeing composition changes coming out more and more from the team. And we got to see a more aggressive look with the double duelists earlier. Then we get to see these changes on Lotus and Pearl. So I kind of want to know if this is something that's you're kind of rediscovering how the team wants to be playing with Sato, just little changes as the meta. Like, what's that all like?
I mean, with these new changes to the meta and stuff, we were just trying to play to our comfort on most of these maps. So that's why we ended up changing a lot of our comps. And then, I mean, we want our superstar Brazilian player to, of course, have like his comfort character. So we built around our whole team as a whole and their comfortability on these maps, which is how we ended up with these comps and why there's so many comp changes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that comfort is definitely there. Being able to see step-up performances across the team, you and Oki especially, was top tier. So last but not least, last time I had spoken to M80, I'd spoken to Caillou and said the team was about a 60% chance of where the team would be. I want to know now, with this win, where you're thinking this full power of the team is, or is there still a lot more M80 we haven't discovered yet?
There's definitely a lot more M80. Like today, we did not play our best at all. A lot of these rounds were sloppy from us, and we're going to be better in the future and hopefully win off playoffs.
Looking forward to seeing you again. Bao, congrats on the win. Enjoy the rest of your night, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you. What a crazy game to be starting off, not just the day, but the playoffs here for Challengers. One more on the horizon. QOR going up against Cubert Academy after a short break. Kidding about a short break. Welcome back, everyone, to Valorant Challengers North America for our playoffs. One team, M80, moving along in the upper bracket after ending the 17 series run by Envy. Crazy way to be starting off our day, and I cannot wait to jump into this next series. It's going to be Cubert Academy going up against QOR. Two teams with very different stories, very different futures, and I'm excited for what's going to be happening here, because starting off with this Cubert Academy team, I mean, I don't think that this is any surprise to say, Roy, but heading into the series, I think this is the clear favorite.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going strictly off seeding, I would 100% agree. I think this team is definitely the favorite. They're one of the few teams that have ended the regulations with 4-1 record. But I think despite the record, we do have to talk about the fact that they haven't really played a lot of the top seeded teams on their way here, and they, as well as their performance has been a little bit less than our expectations. I think we see the names, we see the roster on paper, we see who their coach is, and I think all our expectations have been super high. But that being said, it's been about 3 weeks since they've played matches or they've played officials. So I believe truly that this team has gotten a chance to kind of just tighten up their edges. That's really all they needed. Their macro game looks good, their strategy looks good, their compositions look completely good. It's really just been like these little fine lines that have sort of not allowed them to be the high level team that we've been expecting. But I think these 3 weeks should have done them pretty good justice, and hopefully they've tightened up.
But you're telling me that they haven't played the best teams, but they still had to play against rankers, which is where they got their only loss in the Swiss stage. But they still had to play against a trust and plug, by the way, that has gone on such a deep run towards the tail end of it in that week number 4. And then they also had to beat M80 as well. So there's still a I mean, are you telling me that the super sub of We Did wasn't enough? Are you going to discredit that it was going to be an easier win for Cubert Academy to play against a weakened quote unquote M80 with We Did?
Listen, if you're going to put emphasis on seeding, then we have to just have to assume that M80 is one of the worst teams heading into playoffs. No.
I mean,
not after their win.
Getting all topsy-turvy over here.
Close overall, right?
That would have been really funny if they lost, and then we would be having a completely different conversation, wouldn't we?
We would have. I wouldn't have been made a clown of myself, and then we would be living in a different timeline. But it's not the timeline we're living in, right? We're still in the M80 that looks quite good. Even if they're seeded number 8, that's probably like, hey, what? Masters Bangkok. T1 was seeded number 8 by some players. There were some people coming through into this event and still won the whole thing, right? So it just comes to show that in this playoffs, though, with the team and the brackets that we're able to see on top of show, how close all of these teams are. So again, you're going into this Cubert Academy versus Core matchup where, yes, it's a super team still with Cubert Academy, where you're just mentioned before, like Wyatt mentioned on the broadcast, where you have, a couple of players from that M80 roster like Dismo joining into Cubert Academy that has been the only one that kind of like was left out, that hasn't gone into partnership where everybody else kind of did. But now he has a chance here to still show that he has what it takes here to join here, at least into the Sentinels Academy roster, and hopefully through this type of system that is built by Sentinels, he could still prove his worth and still have a shot to move up, maybe not necessarily with a team, but to be able to pick up, or this team rather, but to be picked up with another team.
Yep. And I think their last win against M80 is really what solidified Cubert in my mind as a team that is most definitely on the uptrend, and we have definitely not seen their ceiling, specifically just how clean it was and how much more refined they've looked throughout the season. And again, I'm really, my expectations for this roster has gone even higher than what we've seen so far. I really do believe that the level of play that they could be playing at, we have not seen yet. So I'm really, really expecting to be seeing that come out in playoffs where it really matters.
Yeah, when you have this amount of just top tier talent all come together onto this team, even if it was maybe I say a smidge slow to click, like they weren't also winning stuff in the beginning, right? But even if it wasn't the ceiling that we expected, still great stuff. So I'm excited to see how that just heightens up here in the playoffs. But now opponents for today, and looking at a very different story, we got to talk about QOR. For QOR, this is one of the last teams to qualify into the playoffs here. And it's one of those teams, too, that definitely had changes heading into the season. You have Timotino, who's slotting into this team, this high potential duelist. Darkest is someone who we've seen in Challengers before, as well as Snarly. Like, there is a lot here. Just when you're looking at such powerful teams within the season of Challengers, QOR have had sometimes a little bit of a tough opportunity, but there is the potential here. They have those legacy players. They got the new stars, Vans. I'm excited for today.
Legacy players around Snarly and Nerve, and also still have the same coach as Ocean, still has this very, very smart mind to this game. And even Logan coming in with Darkest and Timotino has added a lot of good chemistry here for this team. You'd think that when they lost the other players from the last season going into now, that maybe they would have been a weakened roster, but they've been looking better and better from week to week. And Timotino still has, an opportunity to show that he has what it takes here to fight in the challenger scene. He, again, was one of the superstars up-and-comers back in like the Quebec, Montreal scene. And then now that he has an opportunity to play within the VCL, it's nice to see that there's actually a lot of Quebecers as well representing a lot of teams, just like Dismo is on the other side of the coin here with Cubert Academy. But overall, to go back to the point of QOR, I don't think it's going to be an easy walk in the park for Cubert Academy going into this game, just because QOR has a lot of great minds in terms of coaching staff in IGLE.
And I do want to point to our attention to the quote as well, right? Because it kind of touches on the point that I'm about to make right now, which is this team is most definitely on the uptrend. Yeah, despite their 4-3 record, their first 2 losses were the first 2 matches that they played. It was against SAD Esports. It was against Shopify Rebellion Black. I mean, yeah, they were not very inspiring losses, but ever since then, ever since their match against Shopify Rebellion Gold, they've really turned things around. We've seen them play at a much higher level, taking down Trust and Plug, since you love them so much, Vansily. Obviously,
They're
losing.
so good.
I agree.
Not like them.
I completely agree. I completely agree.
You like them too. You're just saying.
I like them too. I just like to make you feel
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, it's just a Vansily hatred side thing. But yeah, and then their last match against Nightblood Gaming, who, in my opinion, have looked very good towards the end, Nightblood Gaming.
Yes.
And then the fact that QOR came out on top looking pretty decent in their match against them, I think overall, this should be a pretty good match. I'm at least I'm expecting it to be.
I still think that's very confident words when you're looking at some of the teams that we have here in the playoffs to say us on top or an even matchup. But I guess you do have to have that confidence with the team. And when I look at players like Darkus, someone who we've praised a lot throughout the season, and being able to set up the other players on the team so we can see someone like Timotino thrive, I definitely think that there is the potential. I'm just intrigued with how much work they've been able to put in, especially since they didn't have quite as much time to maybe re-prep heading into playoffs in comparison to some of the other teams considering the run. Like looking back at their match history, another one of these teams that they have these reps because Vans were forced to fight right up until the very end.
Yeah, and at least for the fights that they're playing in these series for QOR, their strongest map that we usually have here in all the games that they've played have been on Haven and have been very, very one-sided in their favor. So this is actually quite good here for QOR. I mean, the tenacity around this team, if you're looking at the losses that they brought, the first one, as Roy mentioned before here, the loss against SAT and SRB. But the loss against SRB, one of them was also on Haven where it went into like this double, triple overtime, if I'm not mistaken. So
yep, you're correct.
Again, it comes to show that you're looking at, what are these top 4 teams that's supposed to be going into Ascension, just as Shopify Rebellion Black, M80, et cetera, et cetera. But you have teams like QOR that are just riding well this storyline of the underdog and riding it quite well because they're able to make it very challenging for the teams that they play against.
Yeah, with the match history, it's definitely a very different schedule than what this Cubert Academy had. But if they're able to improve on it, and if with these reps just feeling more and more confident as a team, I'm intrigued with how this will go. And I think that the reps might have been a good thing when I'm specifically looking at this one player, someone who I already talked about, but Timotino, because going into this is definitely the least experience of the 2 duelists. But even when you highlight him in that last series, the series to get into playoffs, Timotino had a wonderful performance. So it's someone that I think we can just see more and more from. So hopefully we've gotten to that point here, Vans, where he's a little bit more unlocked and we can see a great head-to-head against one of these star duelists in the league.
And it's a tough matchup to play against, too, against Redux, right? Because on the other end, Redux has been like the prodigy for Sentinel's first Cubert Academy going into this season, or even when he was talked about in last season when he was playing with OXG. But he just kind of got overshadowed by every other duelist that were kind of playing under this NV banner, and we kind of just leave him to the side. So Timotino is going to have his hands full if the game plan for QOR is to go toe-to-toe against Redux. You're hoping that there's going to be a lot more utility around Timotino to get a little bit of an edge and an upper hand here in these duels against Redux. But overall, I still think that Timotino is a great player that seems to be very flexible around a Raze and a Jet. Haven't seen him too much going on into other duelists yet, but is still a very, very good selfless duelist that is going to be able to create at least a little bit of space for your team, but not necessarily able to stay alive every single time in these moments.
And I think that's a very important distinction between these 2 styles, right? Because I feel like Redux's entire team structure is kind of built around him, setting him up, getting him to really good spots, whereas QOR's strategy doesn't overly rely on Timotino too much. So there's a bit of a setup discrepancy. Obviously, Timotino is still getting a great utility and overall being set up, but the entire team philosophy is not around Timotino. It's around the entire team. And statistically, it supports that with all the players being so close, like condensed and stat spreads. But that being said, there's one thing to also keep in mind between these 2 players specifically. It's the fact that Redux has only really shown 2 duelists. It's the Jet and the Raze. I think, Vans, you were saying that. But whereas Timotino's flexed into almost every single duelist, including the Yoru, which seems to be high performing in this current meta.
I mean, for Redux, though, even if it's the 2 duelists, they've been so good. So being able to play these comfortable duelists and thrive, I'm excited then to see how and if that'll make a difference then going into the map picks and bans. Because if they do think that maybe the duelist is only playing a couple of different things, maybe try and take advantage. First pick up of the series, QOR Vans, they're going to go to Haven.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about before, right? Their strength, their bread and butter going to the Haven and usually playing a very, very standard composition in this one. And even if they're playing a standard composition where it's almost like the Ascent style, where you kind of know how to play around like a Breach and a Sova, they're still able to get some very one-sided victories against all of their opponents, with the exception of Shopify Rebellion Black, where they lost in like that quad OT that I was mentioned before. So it just comes to show that they're very comfortable and know how to maximize the map and the layouts of this map to allow here to get the best value for the team. But again, if you're looking at last week, it wasn't around Timotino getting, or the last match they played on this map, it wasn't around Timotino, but more around Darkest as his initiator really helped them out. But I'm actually quite surprised here, Roy. Sorry to cut you.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna pass it over to you now. But there's 2 maps that we haven't really seen from Cubert Academy yet, and it's still not being played at this point. Crazy.
Yeah, their map pool is quite hidden, but going into Split specifically, because that's what we're going to be going into as the second map, I mean, that makes complete sense from my perspective. They showed it against in their last match versus M80. It was an absolute stomp, 13-6. They had a pretty interesting take on the meta, running the Sage, an agent that we haven't really seen played that much. So I'm curious to know if they're going to be keeping that composition since it's working, or if they're going to be swapping to something else that maybe they found is working better for them. But I feel like overall, this is slightly in favor of Cubert Academy.
Oh, dude, now I have to go in predictions with when Roy was right, he had to fucking, sorry, swore. He had to flame me. But then when we go into Sierra Dawn, and if she gets it right, she's gonna have to flame me again. I don't like being on this desk, man. You guys are always against me.
We have him crashing out, Sierra.
Actually, I think that's the first
yelling at clouds crashing out.
First fine of the season goes to Vansily crashing out over predictions.
Yes,
You hate
they
to see
cannot be
it.
any better.
I mean, for myself here, I just look at the series and the strength of Cubert Academy. I don't think you can deny that at any single point in time. That is nothing against Cubert Academy. I just look at the very different stakes getting into this. And when we look at this Cubert Academy, it's a team that can't ascend. It's individual players that are looking to them maybe get picked up. Whereas for QOR, well, this is a team that has to be working together for any chance to get these points, to try and find themselves in ascension. And I think when you turn that pressure up, sometimes the teams crack, sometimes you get diamonds, and I think QOR, they definitely have that talent that we could see some great stuff coming out today. So I'm excited for it. So let's get into the agent select, see what's going to be happening on the very first map pick. I like this map pick too, because this is QOR's bread and butter, but Cubert Academy had a rough showing on it last time they saw it. So Roy, they're switching the comp all up.
Yeah, and that's the power of having 3 weeks off, right? So you can really switch up the script going into playoffs. That is an insane composition to be pulled out. We haven't really seen anything like that specifically. We've seen some variations of it, but I mean, the Tejo Breach makes complete sense. The Duelist being Neon is a little wild, considering it's pretty much a Cypher meta right now, strictly on this map. And so I'm interested to see how the Neon and Cypher interactions will go. But to have a Vice as your only Sentinel on this map is most definitely going to leave some gaps. But the stopping power that you get in return could pay a lot of dividends.
And that's where you have to underline. I want to underline what you were mentioning, Roy. The gaps here on the attack side of Sentinel's Cubert Academy is where they start off as. So having a Vice, not being able to throw like a recon dart, owl drone, or a camera towards middle, that is something that QOR could take advantage of in the very beginning if they want to start dictating the tempo of this first half.
I'm excited too to see a different duelist here in Challengers for Redux. So I know the Neon's long pass for him, but bringing it back for this map, let's head into it. It's time for Haven, and go over to your casters Wyatt and Shift to get us started.
Bold indeed. Not only the fact that you allow QOR to have what has been their tried and true map throughout this Swiss stage, but to jump into it with a brand new composition. This feels like one of those hold up, let them cook type moments here, Wyatt.
Definitely. Pretty crazy comp, but I like it. And it does have their players on some comfort roles to some extent. Like Nismo has played a million rounds of Breach, was playing it constantly with M80 last year. Redux's Neon in the past has been good. Scuba has been a solid Omen forever. This Cubert Academy team, to me, is the how have these guys not been in VCT Americas yet at some point team. Like it's literally the Challengers All-Stars that just haven't made it into VCT for some reason yet.
Yeah, very, very true. On the other side, though, this QOR gaming squad has been tested a number of times throughout their Swiss stages and their matches in it, but have provided an entry into the playoffs. See if they can match up against one of the league's best. Lots of information for Timo. backs off the initial sensor drone, and Cubert are just going to back off as well and try to refocus. Snarly likely to meet some of this resistance. Depends on how much he actually sees with this cam, though.
Definitely at least spot T-Dog, and it's broken straight away. Cubert didn't want to commit through that dark cover that came down B main. They wanted to slow the pace of the game. QOR going for a re-clear towards Sewer right now.
Nice.
Yeah, might be able to catch off a couple players here.
Yeah, it's a good proactive dark cover being sent forward by Nerve. And yeah, that's going to confirm the information. Salvo going to get queued up. Inch, though, is on the way. Timo should be good for one for free. He doesn't even need to be revealed yet. So you know this entire hit has made its way through long. Problem is, Cubert have gotten on towards the site. Can they actually hold it, though? That's the follow-up question as Redux is in trouble over through the stack. Help on the way, though. And this is a bold idea, but it might be required. Cubert trying to get some exit through C-Link. Or pardon me, A-Link.
Fight elsewhere.
No, not going to happen, though.
No, just not enough. Those two players in Sewer really held it down. I like the guided salvos that T-Dog sent out. It was giving free access to the site for everyone going up long, but he tried to take the fight. A little ambitious, goes down in the 1 versus 2. And then from there, the positioning is just so awkward for the rest of the Cubert team on site. They're just getting that retake coming in on them from multiple different angles, making it incredibly difficult. Good start for this QOR team, who are certainly coming in as the underdog, but have displayed some really good maps so far.
Good stuff. Good proactivity from QOR. Causing a little bit of issue there for Cubert on that initial approach. I think more so just the fact that you trust that Timo can hang and get the read that, yeah, that hit towards B was nothing but just a show of force. Drone once again coming through. Oh, this is trouble all of a sudden for Snarly. Caught into a corner. Salvo out behind this. Darkus has provided a double, though, in through Garage. Redux in a little bit of a mixy battle up top towards the platform. That works out. Nismo shuts down the rotation in. So numbers decent here for Cubert. 3v2. Weapon has been collected. That's Redux on the Outlaw for his third elimination as the spike will get collected.
Oh, yeah, Nerve caught. Awkward timing with the reload. Exposed out in the open. Logan has the Guardian. Could try to spam through the default box if he wants, but is holding the angle.
Spike down, C.
Recon bolt immediately destroyed. Knights gonna swap over to the Outlaw. Spike in hand, 45 seconds to play with, trying to see if he can bait Logan out onto a peak. Not gonna happen. Logan holding his cool. Even still, third time the charm? No, it's gonna be the fourth. Finally, the stick comes through, and now we reset the 1v1.
I'm trying to see, too, if at some point here, Logan's recon dart is going to cycle back up since so much time was wasted.
It will be close. 8 seconds, and he's already cleared out a couple of the corners. The more space he clears, the more likely he is to know where this recon bolt needs to go. Knights playing long, though. Wait, takes a straight shot with the Outlaw, but doesn't make a difference. Logan still finds the peak, and Cubert will find their thrifty win here on the anti-eco.
That is crucial from the one rookie that is on this Cubert Academy team, was playing with rankers at the end of 2024, was looking like a real prospect. These experienced players have brought him in to be that young upcoming star that they've got. Already paying off here in their first playoff match. What an eco to win.
And I think a lot of it is just, again, the delineation of space. You know, you get that initial hit, it looks like it's going pretty darn well, but more importantly, I think it's just on Nismo stepping up and making sure he can cut off that cross through B Link. So
Yeah,
good awareness from
absolutely.
Cubert.
Oh, they are heavily focused on A. You can see that they placed the Vice wall, the trip behind them, and all of them are just gathered up, waiting out to see if any players from QOR get adventurous on that side of the map and try to push forward. The issue is they don't know that Darkus is pushed down mid. And because of that, he's called for the full rotate. They're running into the stack. It is possible that we might just get back-to-back ecos.
And the setup is correct. Paranoia is being held onto by Nerve right now. There's the execute utility. Drone deleted. Redux fast light up. Has not committed through this, though. They survive and stave off the Paranoia counter, but now they're going to run into Darkest. Fault line already queued up. Now, does he have the timing for it? Oh, he sure does. Headshot lands, but Cubert find the kills they need over through A long. That pinch setup doesn't really fully come through, and eventually they deal with Darkest. Numbers advantage, too strong. Snarly's been seen towards A, and the quick rotate to C is underway.
I love that attempt from QOR, though. They were a mere few HP points away from taking down 2 more players there and getting an eco of their own. Realizing that Cubert were going to try to fall back into the stun that just connects on everyone, and then QOR push out of the site into them. They take matters into their own hands. That was a really cool idea, a great attempt on the play. And it could have resulted in a round win. Redux is 5 HP, T-Dog 40. Damn close.
And that's now a second round in 3 where we've seen QOR just take away the map almost immediately. Maybe some knowledge gained off of Cubert's attempt on this map that they like to play their offense pretty stacked together. It's allowing for some space to be gained very quickly by QOR. Snarland is seeing if he can find and maybe toggle out an elimination or 2, but likely they will just fall to the detonation of the spike, and this will come to a Cubert follow-up. And they'll go into a pretty pure-on bonus here with 2 rifles still retained.
Yeah, and to your point about them, flanking, pushing down areas of the map on defense, it's also what Roy mentioned on the desk before we got into it, about how the Vice doesn't give you as much information as the Cypher. We're normally on attack. You'd have that trip over at the C door, one behind you on A, etc. But you only get one. And so there's going to be opportunities for players on defense to push through more of those extremities, take more space, be more active flanking.
They're setting up for that again, too, here, Wyatt. I mean, you've got already pressure at A long. That's Timo, who's already won the angle. Follow-up recon dart reveals nothing at A. And look how quickly this walk down A long is going to be. So again, Logan can move back. He can rotate through and towards, not even through mid. He can go the long way around. There's a spy cam inside of B. But again, the execute's already on. Flash coming through. Redux just completely breaks the camera of Snarly, but nerve response. Flash on the secondary attempt works out. And that will be the spike site taken by Cubert.
Perfect execute. The missiles from Tejo destroyed both of the kill trips that were on site, making it easy for the Neon to get in deep. Cypher is the bane of Neon's existence, but not when the trips are removed in easy fashion.
Timo needs to catch one here for free and then put a little bit of pressure on this Cubert post plant that's playing forward. Darkest, no more utility, close to a fault lamp. I don't know if he can wait for it. Doesn't make a difference. He just peeks out. No one's watching Garage at all. Hello? And QOR again, utilize the flank, find one for free, give Cubert no ground to stand on, and overwhelm him.
Things just devolve after Timotino flanks. The Vice wall is there. He just updrafts over it. No one is watching towards long, so he gets that free kill. And then you have 3 players playing default on site. Just, okay, we're going to get... The retake is coming in now from 3 angles and behind us. They get crunched. What a retake.
Yeah, I'll say.
QOR looking strong right now. I know it's early days, but this is a team, for me at least watching them this season, that have been really swinging. Like, they had a great win against Nightblood in their last match. Before that, though, they played Blue Otter, and it was absolute chaos in that game. They are really swingy, but on a good day, they've got serious talent.
Yeah, that's without question. And now, again, look at the space that Snarly just walks down. Playing inside a cubby at C long, spy cam to watch his garage if he wants to. And it may just be down to if Logan catches any information whatsoever on this A long play, you could quickly come through, use a dark cover to stall out this hit, and have numbers again for QOR to respond to this.
And multiple players watching. Sure, right now, Logan is jiggling for the long info. Stealth drone going to come out. Doesn't look like anyone can break it. Actually does get broken straight away. Timotino, steadfast up top.
The fast line's already gone. Dark cover again in the way of this execute for Cubert. And yeah, here's Darkest already in the rotation over. He's got the Rolling Thunder. No one checks for Timo. Up top, he shuts down Redux before the overdrive could be into play. Logan's still holding onto the site, and there's the Rolling Thunder. And wouldn't you know it, look at Snarly. He's already pushed up to take away the C side of the map, and Cubert, once again, have to essentially commit to playing for this A execute.
Yeah, they have to be so concerned they don't have a close trip in A lobby. They just have to walk back into the crossfire.
Deep flash comes through, Logan on the cross. Oh, misses the key 1v1, and the follow-up is also a bit amiss. Nerve shut down. Clean take of the site on the second chance here for Cubert.
Spike
Razor
planted.
just to make sure that there's no immediate contested. Scuba's teleported up top. Okay. Doesn't go as according to plan for the first execute attempt onto A, but the follow-up is really well done. And to be fair, there's also a couple of critical missed moments there from QOR.
Yeah, that is just a moment where the talent on this Cubert team individually brings a round win into fruition. That just simply shouldn't have really happened. I mean, yes, it was a 4v4, but hitting into the site there, already having used the fast lane, they can't cut off these angles. They should have gone down to the crossfires, but hitting some excellent shots just gets them the win.
But this has been tighter than you would expect, I think, friends. At least for now. Weapon advantage for Cubert, still pretty potent here as we jump into round number 6. And I think the biggest key is the Rolling Thunder's already off the table as well. So QOR are just hanging around with a Hunter's Fury for the time being, whereas Nismo's close to having his Rolling Thunder is also a Steel Garden 1 tick away from being earned.
That's also insane. The Timotino finds it. I didn't realize he was the one that killed Redux on the entry there, by the way. I thought that was someone backside. You just tapped him, stunned. All right.
It's the way it be sometimes. So yeah, broken economy here for QOR Gaming. Hunter's Fury still going to be called through. Tags onto a couple, but no eliminations with it. An expensive usage. And now Snarly with a Guardian is going to have his hands full. Defense not able to rotate quickly enough to establish any opportunity to contest, likely. And yeah, that's just going to be enough for Snarly to try to get out of there. Logan, follow-up Shock Dart, trying to delay time for this long flank to develop through the offensive spawn.
That is the power of having the Neon making such a fast pivot into the C site after drawing all of that valuable util out of the defenders at A.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, I just don't know how you force this retake through. You're going to have to win out some gunfights here at Garage. Snarly able to use one, but time is ticking away here. Knight still planted, backside of sight. Not clean, though. Darkest, that's a big elimination. How do you clear out long, though, just with Sheriffs and maybe a couple of weapons? Well, you do it like this? Are you kidding me? And their Nerve's going to be able to hold this. Is there enough time for Scuba to follow up off of this? You got to stop the player on the defuse. He's not going to get there in time. And it's been a map decided by Thrifties to this point. We're tied at 3.
2 already. That just can't be happening. They got long range to take the fights with the better weapons too. But it was irrelevant with QOR hitting their shots. Sheriff, Guardian getting the work done. That is pretty crazy. You know, at least for the Cubert side, their economy has been stable so they can get right back into a big buy round. One where they have a lot of high-value ultimates to play with, by the way. I could easily turn the tide.
Wow. Here we go. Quick action. Yeah, Redux this time. Good on the first blood. Knives are still out for Timo. Armageddon going to cut right across the front side of the site. Oh, big 1v1 on the lurk, though. Goes the way of Cubert as well. And that's enough for Cubert. Just decide, okay, we've got a 5v3. Let's just make sure we're not running into some sort of a stack up at A. Let's use this clock to try to spread the defense out.
Yeah, QOR are reading it, though. After that kill, they immediately left A. They're predicting that that rehit will not be coming. If Darkest can find Knights here, which doesn't look likely, that would have been pivotal.
Yeah. Follow-up also pretty darn clean. Nerve giving him a bit of a workout, but largely comfortable for Cubert after the initial approach over towards A. Or towards B, rather, I should say, kind of finds those eliminations onto QOR, just not allowing him a chance to rotate around the map.
QOR is sent right back onto a tragic eco. Snarly with enough cash to get a hero rifle. That will be about it for them. The round openings from Cubert have been pretty sick, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just setting up Redux into these nuts forward positions that only a Neon can get to.
Here we go. Once again, lots of utility spent over towards A long. Sheriffs and the Vandals, all that is going to be tallied here for QOR Gaming. And it's another quick hit for Cubert. Fast lane this time could allow him to get a little bit deeper in towards the backside of the site. Paranoia coming through. One Thunder, though, for the offense. Oh, and QOR Gaming are just stuck. They just got nowhere to go while they're on top of the site. So, quick clearance comes through. Should allow a plant. And beyond that, the Paranoia also catches onto Logan in the corner at Sewer. So, that will be a pretty clean round once again. Dark is still fighting, but again, weapon superiority reigns supreme for Cubert.
Cubert team are not here to play games. They commit the rolling thunder just to win this anti-eco. They do not want to give Core an inch, especially not after getting eco 2 rounds ago. Can't really blame them.
Yeah. Well, Snarly, okay.
Careful now.
Pushing off some of the aggression from Cubert on the exit from A. And actually, if he finds this 1v1, he may have a chance to hop here. Knights is nowhere nearby, but no, Snarly doesn't clear out hell. That's enough for Cubert to extend now 5-3 up.
Not as clean as they would have hoped. They do lose a few guns, but even still, their economy is rock solid at the moment. And the core team will be fully investing. A Cubert round win here would put them in a firm lead, a round that should be worth 2.
Okay, so what we've seen kind of in the last 4 rounds, Core is getting contested on this ability for them to dominate the map right from the get-go. They're not getting these long lurks through for pinches. Cubert's not getting stuck in position before they can fully get on for a post plan. So if you're a Core gaming, do you try to modify and try to get that tempo back up again, or are you going to respect the fact that Cubert are really throwing a lot of utility early into these executes and just trying to play more on the lines of retake?
I mean, I would like to see them try and find some timings to refight after a lot of this early Cubert util has been used. They're continuing to be caught by it. Like in that replay we just saw where Redux goes for that early dash up A long, and that came after there was a breach fault line. Like there are timing windows where they can refight with some counter util just after Nismo uses some of that breach util, after some of the stuff from Tejo comes out. At the moment, though, they're just playing in positions where they're being simply caught by it. It's so tough to anchor against everything that Cubert has. They got to find those windows for aggression.
Well, looks like they're going to try to get Timo on an angle with the operator to start. Dark cover in their way. Fast lane already thrown down C long, mostly pushed off, and ooh, Timo's going to have an opportunity here. And there's still I think beyond this, Darkest is still in a spot to throw a fault line out in case things get nasty. But Tino's been seen. Just a little shoulder check's all that's required. Salvo comes down to clear the angle. And Cubert will get some position around A long and Sewer.
Able to cross. Timo wants to refight, but
wow,
they're doing such a great job of controlling A long at the moment. He is so aggro.
And look at the close hold on this corner at A long. Oh, and the Steel Garden. Not what you want if you're Core gaming. They do get back in towards site. Fault line trying to stall things out. Paranoia for the defense also. Cuts across the front side of the hard point. Or, oh, pardon me, that's the spike site. What game are we playing? Timo, oh, he gets one from inside the site, but flat out overwhelmed. 3v1 situation. Snarly, the last one left.
The utility from this Cubert team is so regimented at the moment. The way that they control that positioning in A long, just forcing Timotino back into the Steel Garden to remove the AWP from his hands. And then that second wave comes in to hit the site. It's so comprehensive.
That's been the story, hasn't it? I mean, first take, not necessarily clean. Follow-up, perfect. A lot of these battles that have been happening in front of the site, Core got to be feeling pretty decent about. It's just being able to hold and kill enough time for the defense to rotate over to help on that secondary approach that hasn't really been there. So off the timeout. Things looking decent. Oh, gosh. Neon things. Snarly's like, I don't want any.
Oh, no.
Get me out of here. Oh, you'll catch one, but that's just the definition of neon things right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough to play against the Neon. Pretty good agent, as we've seen. Core, again, though, they're pushed into these positions where they feel like they have to anchor the site, but just doing that against Breach stun, Neon stun, Tejo missiles. There's just so much. I mean, what can you do here as Simatino? Just getting flashed, getting stunned, another flash after the fact. Like, it's so overwhelming.
The thing about it is, that's actually a really good replay picture of it. Again, like the players on site have done okay at doing their job of stopping whatever they possibly can. Again, Timo finds one there, but it's just no one can rotate in. Like everyone's stuck at A-Link. But pause on that conversation. Stealth drone called through. Nice paranoia in combination of this. allows Timo to actually out-trade the hit. He's stuck in a corner, or is he? Finds Nismo before the inevitable trade comes out. And you've got numbers now for Core, still just on Sheriffs, though, in this 3v2.
I'm sorry, was he full stunned and just
Unreal.
I mean, they win another eco. Half of their 4 rounds have just been ecos. I was a sick setup to get Timo in pocket with that paranoia that you called out to get the swing. And I'm sorry, I think he got that 3rd kill walking out stunned. Purely a cosmetic ability. I mean, like, how many times have we seen? We've seen him get a kill stunned twice already in this game.
Yeah, at least twice, yeah. Oh, this is just unbelievable hero moments, yeah. Completely suppressed up. That paranoia connects on everything, though, and then, yeah, he is fault line, still stunned. Walks out, dude. Still walks out in 1 tap. Unbelievable. So now down to within just 2. But how do you win a round off of actual full weapons? Because that hasn't been the case yet. False pass lane going to go up. Defense trying quickly to get over here to help out Snarly, but he's flashed out. Armageddon also through the back of the site trying to reduce Core. But this has been a really solid Rolling Thunder trying to isolate this site, but Redux sliding with the finger guns through. Not able to stay alive on site, our Core's defense. And it's just going to rest with Logan and Timo in a 2v5.
These side anchors are just being put in the hydraulic press. They can't exist on the site.
What?
What?
Wait, Timo, he's going to be able to dash out through. Timo, he's found 3. Now the reveal! How have they pulled that off? Timo gets 4 in a 2v5.
How on earth? Was that just spam through the dark cover to get the first 2?
No idea.
He breaks the angle for Logan to get in, pops out, gets another 2. What the hell, man? These guys are just thriving in the madness of a ping up, but Knights was just so weak.
Unreal.
This has got to be so frustrating for Cubert. Dapper is currently slamming his head into his monitor, watching 2 anti-ecos fail.
And a 2v5.
A 2v5? Oh my god.
Unbelievable. Drone gonna get clearance deep through garage here. Cubert not gonna push through that position, though, knowing that they're gonna have Core's attention pretty much locked onto the C side of the map for now. 4-man rotation, though, further side of Cubert, making their way towards A. It's just Logan who's here. He only has the Owl Drone and 1 shock dart for the time being.
Silent right now from the Cubert team, working up towards A, no noise made, and then they're just going to burst onto the site with everything they've got.
Just got to get 1. That's fine. Oh, and look at Timo.
Oh, he's different.
Quickly back into sight, gets 2 with the knives. That's the spike carrier down on top of that. Timo's having himself a freaking map.
He has taken over the server. A little quiet to start, but the past few rounds have been utterly insane.
Scuba trying to collect the spike. Dark cover comes out after shock thrown. The site has been completely encapsulated by Core.
I have the spike.
Scuba able to get the spike, but no ult means no rotation away. They still have to find their way in towards this A site, and here comes the attempt. Now the dark cover starts to fade away. Knights, do you move first? No, it's going to be instead Azeon to Scuba, but predictive fault line allows Timo to catch 3 with the knives and save the round again.
Beautiful stun. I mean, I think you could firmly say that the Cubert Academy had a better overall game plan for that half, but Core individually are crazy right now. 2 eco wins with 1,000,000 Sheriff headshots.
1 enemy remaining.
Back-to-back rounds, Timotino goes stupid. This swing with the knives out, free one with the stun. But the 2v5 4K was just sickening.
Goodness gracious. So 6-6 the half.
I
don't even know how to react.
I'm stunned.
All missiles away.
I have absolutely no idea. Salvo quickly through. It's going to allow T-Dog to catch an early orb through A long and also, of course, own the angle. Logan just crouches underneath the spam shots, and now they're going to get in the sewer with that reveal also in the play. Redux forced out from behind the boxes. A couple of tags come out, and things will now start to develop over towards B as Timo has found first blood in the site.
He is not slowing down. He wants to play in the smoke too, forced back by the paranoia. Flank from Knights.
Knights only able to find one though. Yeah. And again, this is a post plant that is fine playing this through window at the moment. What do you have to try to crack this if you are Cubert? Not much, honestly. No smokes really available whatsoever. Just that last dark cover. Salvo to try to flush out the corner. But still, Timo finds his one. And the numbers should be enough here for Core. Shock Dart also part of the play. Softens up this defense a touch. But wait a second, both core members are stuck in the corner! Oh no! They put themselves in the worst possible position, and that's enough for T-Dog to hop on for the defuse.
Just barely, with 10 HP. Cubert using what little util they had to force players out, and then when they had to retreat, tucked away in the corner together, they had such low HP themselves. Pretty tragic pistol to lose for a Core after Timotino gets 2 first bullet one-tap kills.
Yikes.
Unreal. You thought
also,
Knights was going to be able to win the round right there, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
One enemy remains.
Cover going
Oh,
out.
they just get pushed into that corner, though. So unfortunate for Core. Knights. Oh, he's going to feel contact here. Transfer over after this very quick dash from Timo. Doesn't fully work out. So now you've got an opening here on the C site. Paranoia cuts across as Scuba will be forced to exit. They've got a lot of tools for retake, though, in particular the ability to just fault line and get Redux in is what you're looking at.
This is all on Timotino. He picked up the Bulldog.
Oh, Nismo, just get blessed, why don't you? Perfect angles on it. Core going to step into this dark cover, see if they can just out-trade this, but no one's home. And they're going to wait. Salvo at the ready. You also have the special delivery if you want to clear out one corner, and here comes Redux, just trying to get as far into the site as possible. And they've cleared out quite a bit, but you don't know if this is a post plant
Enemy remaining.
over in towards garage or is it deep at long. Well, now you figured it out. Redux going to find both, and that's enough for Cubert to go up by 2 again.
That was some great retake utility there from Cubert. Again, just displaying how regimented they are. You know, despite being in that 4v2, they did not take a single risk. They waited for the cycle on the guided salvos to come back up. They clear everything out. Just route those 2 players into garage. Total control of the situation.
Yeah, really nice stuff. And again, this moment right here is the difference maker, because I think if you were able to survive, even with one of those 2 players, realistic chance that Core could hang out of the site, but not the case. So now you've got the bonus for Cubert, full purchase, including an operator for Darkest, of all things. That would lead you to believe that this is going to be a commit in towards C. Timo looking to be the first one forward. Dark cover just going to be respected for now. Clouds to follow behind that. No spam, though, from the defenders, and Core are going to just back off for a moment.
He didn't get the wall out either. Messed up the jump. So now Cubert, they don't have to be worried about the C site. They can rotate elsewhere. And that's what they're doing. You can see at the top of the minimap, Nismo's on the way to A, where they've already got 2 players stacked up.
The longer this takes, though, the more you start to favor Cubert's defense. Aldrone just to put some pressure through A long. Deleted by T-Dog. Scuba still staying covered. This contact could be everything, though, as Scuba's looking for something up top. Instead, it's Nerve down low. Teleport comes through. Nerve has the perfect angle. That's good first blood, and now you can execute on it.
The cut noise took a while, and the rest of Cubert rotated away, so it's all on T-Dog to try and find a couple.
Holding behind the fast lane for now. Core, oh, not able to get the shots on T-Dog initially. He's actually still alive inside the site,
Player standing.
but now he's just going to be down to Knights. Trying to rotate in, and Snarly will find the elimination. So Cubert trying to get cheeky down A-Long, doesn't fully work out. Logan, the only one who drops as Core respond to the bonus.
That was well done by Nerve, catching that timing, contacting up A-Long, and then off that kill, the rest of the team rotate back. Cubert, they were really antsy in that round. They wanted to try and find the moment to really stack a site hard with the worst weaponry, but it ended up just leading them astray, feeling like after there was that noise cut that they were going to re-hit C late in the round. But ultimately just did not happen. Still want to see what Darkus is going to do with this AUG, by the way.
For real, yeah.
Weird pickup on your breach.
All right, now he's just holding over towards mid window. Razor wire going to get popped at the front door of garage. Knights now just left with the Rose over garage if he wants it. Dark cover gets placed. Owl drone to follow through, and this is going to be a walk in towards garage. But Nismo could try to set something up here. Depends on the timing through this cyber cage with Knights. Does sneak across. Oh, and the timing of the flash is perfect. Armageddon also going to get called in. Knights able to take care of 2. It'll be a very early 5v3 here for Cubert.
That was a great reaction time onto the second player. Great crosshair placement as well.
The T-Dog gets seen in this corner. Oh, well, now he's down. Yeah, just to make sure of it. Triggering the Shiro as well at the same time. But Core are a bit stuck. Nerve able to sidestep the Razor for a time. That does get triggered. Drone going to be called in, and yeah, Cubert are going to have full information that this is going to be a rotation through left. Garage into C, and they're going to let them get on the site here and then play retake by the look of it.
Yeah, definitely. Nismo has his full kit available. Used the aftershock just now, but still, fault line, double flash to get back in. T-Dog has the missiles. Redux has a stun. They have so much to work with.
You know, it's flash. Paranoia already queued up by Nerve. Darkest, he's just not a part of the picture, unfortunately. So you got to try to get this thing 2v5. Wait, Nerve gets a lineup. Nerve's going to find a third. Hello, are we calming him out in the corner? Knight's down, next one up. He will drop as Nerve secures 4. Now it's just down to Darkest, though, and he's got an op. Scuba still holding on the angle. Gets it to halfway, but Darkest connects, and Core Gaming steal away another round.
We got the op value. Just holding on to the spike, waiting for the dark cover. How the hell do they win that, man? This game, if you take away the heroics, which you can't do because obviously these players are crazy, but if you just try to think about it like, wait, what if Nerve didn't get a 4K? What if Timotino didn't win out a 2v5 with a 4K? This would look so dominant for Cubert.
Yes,
the form is insane individually.
Wow.
Not ready yet.
I want to say it's like business as usual for Core, but it's not. This is dramatic, to put it plainly. So 8-8 to count. Cubert's Economy broken again with Stingers, a Sheriff, and 2 Classics. Op still in hand for Darkest, trying to watch over the cross and toward garage. Scouted out Knights, but cannot connect, so we'll stay 5v5 for now.
Nismo just trying to cross into the corner, put himself in a position to maybe just go 1-for-1 with the Classic if he can. Get a little max damage right click up close.
Yeah. Oh, he may just get a 1v1 here. There's the Darkest. Check this. Hi, guy. How are you? Okay. Cubert gonna step up, though. Have a couple of members on the site, including some Stinger players. Paranoia is good on the counter, though, and Timo makes good advantage of that. Redux finds one in response, trying to dash across the fast lane. Not going to happen. Just down to Knights with a Sheriff 1v4. And looks like he's just going to sacrifice his life to the spike here.
Yeah, well done from Core. That Paranoia just got massive value. More free kills for Timotino. Pretty clean for Core. Economy's not terrible in this round, but nice to get it building the latter half of this game. Get Logan some more cash. He's pretty low.
Yep. Wow, what a map of heroics, though, for Core Gaming.
How many stun one-taps have we seen in this game?
A lot. I think every single one of them, honestly.
It's not a real ability. It's not real.
Not when you have a Sheriff or a Guardian in hand. It doesn't really make a difference, does it? And instead of dying to the spike with that elimination, Knights will instead collect the Vandal, bring that into the next round.
Operator going to be picked up by Redux now. Let's see where he opts to go ahead and play with that. Obviously, when you have that on the Neon, it's nice to be able to take a shot and then reposition elsewhere so quickly. Catch a different player off guard. Still have the op on Darkest too. The rare breach op might have an op duel in long.
Why not? Redux going to be stunned initially. Aldrin on the way. That will
They both
reveal
whip.
him. Oh boy. Lots of damage tallied. Redux still in trouble. Going to back away as instead of him, Scuba's going to pass the baton and get on towards site. Oh, this could get messy. Steel Garden going to come through. Redux trying to follow up on this, but it just doesn't matter. Core just walk right in, find 2 eliminations by way of their secondaries. And now it's just a 3-man stack for Cubert that remains in a 3v5.
I've seen Core play some silly games of Valorant this season, but this is some real silliness. How does Snarly get that kill, man? It just can't be happening. I think that was another stun kill, by the way.
It was stunned and gardened, yeah.
And like mid-air jumping. The game is fundamentally broken. There's something wrong with this game. That can't be legal. That can't happen.
Let's call it a ping diff. This moment, map
My ult's ready.
finds one, so he'll keep the operator in play as they will have to back up and save, but
More often
this is
breaches,
madness.
please.
Yes, more, yeah, it's new meta here, Wyatt, new meta.
Yeah, Cubert, they desperately needed this save. If they had lost everything there, that would have almost surely been a round worth 2.
Trust me, they'll know what hit.
I don't know about that in
Mental
this game, though.
I mean, yeah, that's a good. Honestly, that's pretty fair. Eco rounds are fake. Stuns are fake. Is Nismo going to keep opping, or is he going to give it to Redux? Oh, he's definitely going to keep opping because Redux has his ultimate. We got the double breach op in the next round. Dapper's calling the timeout for the Cubert Academy. It's time to stabilize.
I'm just at such a loss for words. This has been one of the wildest havens I think I've watched in a long time.
And I just heard my cat knock something down and then start meowing and running. So God knows what just got broken in my living room.
Got zoomies
It's
all
chaos.
over the place here,
Yeah,
Wyatt.
there's zoomies everywhere. I don't know what's going on, man.
One enemy.
Keep in mind, we've got split after this. Based on how this Haven's going, I just even don't know if we could even come close to predicting how that map's going to fare.
This 4K was ridiculous. I need to see that kill from Snarly again at the end of this replay package. No!
We missed it.
We
Damn.
missed it. All good. Oh my lord, man. What a game of Valorant.
What a game. Okay, Redux is going to actually get the op, at least to start. Nismo just going to trust the classic Rolling Thunder combination. Okay. Okay, he's got himself shotgun to play with. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they do throw it over to Redux. See where Nismo tries to post up, just close B right now with that judge. He's wanting to get some info outside garage. That flash doesn't connect onto anyone.
My camera is destroyed.
For the first time, we're going to see Cubert salvo dart cover to get T-Dog through a main. Immediately pushed back though by the owl drone. He'll throw out a drone of his own just to make sure there is no immediate follow-up or push. And that gets him the angle back again. Orb collected. That was a bold grab, but T-Dog gets it and gets out.
Yeah, definitely taking a big risk there, trying to reposition now into sewers. Core gather up for this A site execute. No ults to play with at the moment. Here comes the dark cover into heaven, right into the off though.
Yeah, bolt to follow just to make sure there's no follow-up. Nismo in a perfect position with the judge. Exit kill also good for T-Dog.
All missiles away.
Salvo to follow, and oh boy. Core are in some trouble, but Teemo's still alive. That might be enough to do anything. It might be enough to do anything. They're going to get C-site control here. They've got long. They still got to follow up, but Snarly takes over garage. This is still winnable.
And it shouldn't be. It simply shouldn't be winnable. There's such little time.
Oh, mercy. I thought Teemo was going to catch the timing to catch Nismo out.
10 seconds
Man
left.
on the way. Snarly
joking.
holding. Scuba teleporting across, but does not challenge the immediate contest on the spike. 2v2. Here's the double swing coming out, and Snarly finds two! What are we talking about?
There is no way. You are joking. Cubert played the round so well. They force Core over to C. They still have to go through the Vice wall that they didn't activate yet in the round. They're in a 5 versus 3. Of course, Timotino somehow wins the duel in Garage. God knows how he did that. Had no angle on. I mean, come on, man. And then he gets a second on Arena. What can you say? It's just
I don't know.
Individual play out of control for this team. Cubert are absolutely, they are playing really well with all of the utility. They're working the map well. It's just they can't win a duel. And these guys are incredible.
This is unbelievable. 11-8 the count. Zeroing out much of the bank account here is Cubert on this purchase as well. So you got to have it. And it just doesn't feel like anything is winnable as a guarantee right now for Cubert, unfortunately. His core are going to start their walk down A long. And that's likely where this X2 is going to be at. Now, I will say Cubert is perfectly set up for this. Just comes down to the timing. Nismo pops over, sees a lot. Salvo follows with the fault line. A little bit of damage, but everyone stays alive. 38 seconds to go. Here we go. Armageddon to also put a little bit of deterrence in. Logan will get caught.
Yeah, Cubert have to win this out. They're stacked up on the
30
site.
seconds
But
left.
Core make a nice rotation. Time is low. They're trying to get into B, but the spike is still so far away.
Wait, are they going to... I was going to say, do they try to find a stray kill onto Scuba here off this rotation bait and then just try to join them off of the A-Link play? Now you have to commit to B, though, with that fall at Sewer.
Go, go, go.
This should be unwinnable. This
It
should be
it
unwinnable.
should
10
be.
seconds left.
But they're going to get a plant here, Wyatt. I mean, there's not a contest for it.
Planted.
Stop it. No, no, no,
No!
no, no! Stop it! There's
This
no way!
shouldn't
From a 3v5
be possible.
to a 3v2! Timo doesn't know the word lose!
Do they force this? Do they save?
Enemy remaining.
Stop it!
This shouldn't be happening. Cubert have the advantage in every single round. What the hell? 5v3 and they beef it. I am stunned. Their mental has to be destroyed at this point.
Oh my god. This is chaos.
I'm losing my mind, man. I'm actually losing it. And I can only imagine how the coaches for Cubert feel watching this happen.
Pulling hair out.
Oh, I mean, like their early round game plans, perfect. We keep finding advantages. And then in the post plant, just losing 5v3s, 5v2s. Insane.
Unbelievable scenes. Light armor is pretty much across the board here for Cubert, trying to extend this map. A map that I think they're going to be feeling like we should have won this rounds ago.
Flight.
Aldrin coming through, crossfire setup here. Redux for 1, Redux for 2. Again, 5v3. This should be unwinnable.
That was clean.
Now it should be especially unwinnable. So unwinnable. They would never win this 2v5.
Timo's not alive, so I feel better about Cubert's chances here.
And that's a fair point. The only other round Snarly did kind of go, but this is
Enemy
winnable.
remaining.
No. He would never win a
Strike down
1v5.
A.
Not with this time. I just almost want to keep funneling the storyline that he doesn't win this, just so it's more dramatic when he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. This 1v4, he'd never do it. This is impossible. It actually is impossible now.
Yeah. Okay.
They've done it. They've done it.
Pop the confetti.
They get a two-man advantage. They convert it into a round win. We've done it.
I'll wait.
They still have a long way to go, though, especially with breaking the economy of core.
Now we wait.
They're going to be running into buy round after buy round.
One enemy remaining.
Holy cow. Okay. Redux, Overdrive, Guardian combination. Everyone else on full weapons and mostly full armors. Rolling Thunder, one away from being ready for the side of core, plus the knives. Immediately pulled out here for Timo. And he's just going to get a walk down here. I mean, oh boy. There's the Cloudburst. There's the Flash diving on towards the top of the site. Razor finding a way. Okay, Timo's going to drop. They don't fully clear out the corner. Scuba stays tucked, and Nismo shuts down the follow-up, so this will work.
And surely they don't win this 2v5. Surely this is an unwinnable situation. These site holds have been good from Cubert.
Yeah.
Like when they're anchoring heavily, they've had some pretty nice showings. Scuba shutting down Timo, just could not find one of those anchors to actually take a fight against. Some good counter util.
Scanning ahead.
Recon bolt deep, immediately destroyed. Fault line follow-up. Aftershock to make sure no
One
one's in
enemy
cubby.
remaining.
Yep, okay. For the 17th time, we will say the same words. Should be unwinnable.
Left.
And it is.
right.
Okay.
A team like this.
Cubert are stabilizing. I mean, also, if Cubert win this map, core are going to be flattened mentally. Like, you've done all this, and then Cubert still win. That would be devastating.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate right there for Timo. I mean, he has the perfect dash up, and I'm not really sure what the cause for concern there was for Core to not step up with him, because it looked like the flash was pretty well placed, but no one even looks over towards Plaid. It was, I think, Nerve who was right there with that play, just never really stepped up into it, so no chance for Timo to do much damage with the knives. And now there's a chance to talk about it. Darkest again, though, sniping on offense, why not?
Yeah, why not? He's got the Rolling Thunder as well. Logan one away from the Hunter's Fury. We may be running into the classic Valorant situation of you're trying to make a comeback, but eventually you run into all of the big ultimates, so you still lose anyway.
Yeah.
That very well may happen on one of these last two rounds. I mean, matter of fact, it would have to probably be this one, though, because Core are fully investing. They're buying down to nothing. So they're going to have to win this out. I mean, listen, that being said, though, they could definitely win on an eco.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not counting that out.
Me neither. Oh, we're gonna get again that same kind of setup here for Cubert. Likely a salvo in towards a lobby. Redux looking to get at least some control at a long. Countered out. Dark cover from Nerve. A couple of spam shots. The salvo actually does not get triggered immediately. T-Dog's still holding on to it. But Darkest is going to work on clearing some angles in towards B, and the Spike is going to follow up on this.
There is still the wall front B, though. Do they try to just go through it at the same time? Looks like they want to. They just all push into the site together.
Well, the Spike doesn't
Except
make it
the
on.
Spike, yeah,
that's the problem.
Kind of bad.
Oh, and Knights just holds a corner, finds one, doesn't need to challenge anything more than that. T-Dog also connects that Saga player in towards B again, and the crossfire setup is too strong. Core Gaming cannot get into B.
I feel like the magic may be being sucked out of the world in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
When we're going back to normalcy. Unless...
Spike drop.
Do we say it? do I say they'd never win this 2v4? It's unwinnable.
I mean, they've got no exit here. Dark cover's well placed, though. Knights has to push up into this.
Spike planted.
Could force things. Fast lane also comes out. And no, not this time. Knights is going to take down 4 in the round. And Cubert's going to take this to 12-11.
Makes it incredibly easy. Core never even had an opportunity to use any of the ults. They still have the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury, and they did get the Spike down, so they've got some extra cash to work with on the last round that actually makes a pretty large difference. Not a bad buy, all things considered.
Just right there.
One enemy remaining. 3 down.
Well, things are starting to develop nicely here for Cubert after those first bloods. I think that's the big picture here overall, is like you can do your sanctity by worshiping the Valorant gods and coming away with some miracles if you're core gaming, but it looks like that lifeline is starting to fade a touch. They've got a decent purchase, like you mentioned. And a quick hit down A long. First time we've really seen this, including from the shadows. It's going to be committed to, but Redux finds two with the outlaw in play. Now he's got the overdrive out, shut down with the Hunter's Fury. Neural Theft behind this, but the problem is Nerve, the sneaky teleport, shut down. Armageddon also going to force them on towards the A site.
At this point, Cubert are playing this patiently. Maybe they try to accelerate off the spike tap, or they just set up for the full retake. Nismo still has 2 flashes. Scuba still has a paranoia. A lot to work with, and even the Steel Garden from Knights.
And that will be called in right here.
Last player
Logan, now the last one left, finds one from topside heaven. Recon bolt on the recharge, has to push through this though. Fault line, that's ready for Nismo. And yeah, the Owl Drone gets called in. Scuba can just hang out for the defuse. T-Dog follows to finish off the elimination, and we've got extra innings again here tonight.
Which definitely says a lot about the quality of this Cubert team as a team and how well they're playing with the utility. That Core pulled off that many miracle rounds, and they've dragged this back to OT
For
with
real.
a 4-round win streak at the end. That is super impressive. Knight's playing really well at the moment, too.
Yeah, he's had a handful that have been legitimately rounds that he's found 3+.
Yeah, again, just the player that, I'm not going to say Cubert are taking a risk on, but it's the player that they're trying to elevate. You know, the upcoming star potential of this guy, surrounded by the top challengers mainstays.
Okay, here we go. Cubert on the offense, quickly in towards Sewer. Reveal does come out, though, and that will put a bit of a pause on this execute towards A. Just going to use the space as a way to put some pressure on Core's defense early.
And they've inserted Scuba here, too, so they can always pivot back to A, go for that execute if they want. They have the knowledge that no one's going to be pushing up through Sewer. It does look like they want to.
Expire. Yeah, this is a little flash to get in. Timo, shoulder. We'll see at least one. Defense in a pretty good spot here. I mean, with Snarly's setup, he's feeling pretty confident he can hold on to C. Nice little counter flash, but Timo misses the window for a free first blood. And now we're going to get the full-on execute. We're going to get about a 4v4 here on towards site. Just comes down to these opening gunfights as there's the salvo. Logan stuck in a corner. Stunned, but doesn't matter. Counter flash from Darkest, not good enough to find the opener. Nismo follows up, and the Razor Wire will stop a lot of this defense from getting in towards site. And Knights behind this will get the plant, 4v2.
Yeah, these guys are cooking. The util is so good on that execute. Every corner is being covered by something, and you have the Vine to stop people from getting back in to flood and help.
Oh, and if Nerve drops here, he's going to be punished for it. I was going to say, Crossfire setup plus he's low HP. There's the dark cover. Snarly flash. Double peek comes through. Easy follow up there for Knights. Does get traded, and Nerve will again add a little bit of extra damage, but Cubert will put themselves onto map point.
It's just so comprehensive, all of the util coming in. Even the way that, from the point of view we saw for Logan, he has that little pocket that he can go into to avoid the salvo, where he would have an angle to fight a player coming from short. That gets covered by the breach stun. That's also hitting backside. And then there's the Vine so no one can flood. And then there's a second flash coming in to fight backside.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's really so well drilled. These guys are just so practiced.
I think a lot of that does come with the efficacy of having Redux being able to push a little bit further forward and also have a stun up of his own. First shot from Darkest, glass cannon with the sniper rifle here in overtime as a breach pays out for first blood.
I think that's one of the first first bloods he's actually found with that. Like, I don't think he's gotten a ton of kills with it, but
No, I mean,
he is committed.
gotta tip it.
No, surely. Oh my God.
Oh, okay. So say Scuba taking space allows the defense to stack out A, but Now all of a sudden, with Scuba out of the picture, the whole map becomes wide open for Core to work with.
Yeah, Cubert, they are taking a gamble and just trying to stack up towards A, but they have lost the wager. Free C site, tough retake coming up.
Logan for the plant.
30 seconds left.
3v5 the other way? Maybe. What's available? Fast lane, fault line, double flashes, salvo, and a special delivery. Not that we often see that find much impact, but lots of utility for Cubert, and they're able to get into the dark cover and likely walk onto site here. There's the fault line to get him over, but Logan for one. The counter flash is good for Timo to follow up.
Worthless.
And it's just down to Nismo. For a 1v5, he has to clear off C long. And yeah,
Off your feet.
this one will also be impacted by the Rolling Thunder. Nowhere to go. Core respond with conviction.
Well done from Darkest. He found the value with the AWP that he's been
Switching
seeking
sides.
for years. He gets
Overtime.
2 free picks of players walking into the crosshair. That had been a run of rounds for Cubert. Finally stopped. Felt like it was going to be over, to be honest, just with the momentum that they've got. Getting some serious control of the game after these core players have cooled off a bit individually. And honestly, where can you go but cooling off? I don't think you can heat up anymore from where they were at. You can only slow down.
So
So
valid. Quick action down A long. Salvo clearing off the corner just in case, but Logan's played deep in towards site. Shock dart coming through. Oh, and the drone will actually see a pretty good amount of information about the defenders that have rotated in, so that's enough for Cubert to dismiss this play and try to go back over to Knights' direction.
yeah, at the moment there's no one anchoring C. There's kill trips placed, but a lot more emphasis, excuse me, from Core elsewhere. Though maybe Snarly can get into position. Hope to get some kind of spam kill if one of the tripwires gets procced.
It's definitely doable. I mean, Darkus has gotten his fault line ready to go. He just pops it right there through garage. Snarly will read that, yep, the rotation is underway towards C. And yeah, you called it perfectly. Trap wire deeper into sight. Catches Redux for a first blood. Plant for T-Dog still on the way, though. And yeah, you can kind of read it. This contact, if it does come through between Timo, could determine the round. But from the front, Core Gaming able to open up at least one elimination from the front. And honestly, Scuba may have missed the window here. He's trying to put down a smoke, and it's just down to what shots land. Down C long, the threat now established. Reveal coming through. Nerve able to find one from the front. Quickly on the way is Scuba. Is he able to get here in time, though? Ah, the shoulder check is good. Scuba for another, but Nerve puts him out of commission, and now Core Gaming have the edge in the overtime.
Yeah, they've just grouped up, traded things out with the advantage that Snarly was able to find. The bane of the Neon's existence, just running into a kill trip.
Switching sides.
You're going too fast.
Match point.
Be careful. You just can't watch for them, can't hear them in time. Can be pretty frustrating. Dapper going to call the timeout for Cubert Academy. So they're on the precipice of losing this first map. Not their pick, but they still have to feel so frustrated at this point. Or will, I imagine their heads are in the game, but if they lose, they'll feel pretty frustrated that this is how it's happened.
And there's been enough distance from those heroic rounds that I think you shake off some of that mental taxation, but still, it is one of those situations that I imagine that you lose a round like this in overtime. You're sitting here like, we shouldn't even be here in the first place. Like, see what the composure looks like as Darkest gets away with the offensive operator in overtime.
Does he bring it out again?
I know,
or does
right?
he just go to the rifle? Because surely you can't get that much value with it again. You have to imagine that Cubert are not going to be wandering into any angles, getting too active. And he's got the rifle. He doesn't want to risk it this time.
Can they make some sort of a call, though, and read that, like, hey, if Cubert are going to sweat a potential operator, can we just take away A-long early and then just burst onto site and just catch this Cubert team off guard because they have to play passive away from the threat of the scope?
Yeah, just take some of that free space, set up for a big exec. They want to work mid right now, though.
This is bold. Scuba's going to be playing off of the Rose Arc in Garage to hold the aggressive angle. Nismo will not have the same ability, though. Oh, but just pushes up, at least able to find one. Now you go to Scuba's direction, sees the barrel, and yeah, good on to Snarly. Paranoia to follow just to make sure. And on the other side, Redux has purchased the operator, and that connects. So QOR's attempt to try to surprise through mid, not going to work out.
Enemy remaining.
What?
Nice shot.
Didn't even look like he was on his screen. That was pretty crazy. And I think the magic is worn off. I don't even want to say surely he won't win this 1v4. I think the magic has left. So might get a free one onto Redux.
Yeah, could be a freebie and a plant here. I mean, there's no one else to rotate over.
Stay down.
So now from 1v4 to 1v3, you can put the clock in his favor. Salvo,
30 seconds left.
drone, dark cover. It's all that's available here for Cubert. Tells him to go first. Shut down. Shock dart to follow, creating some space. Arc Rose does not land. Salvo trying to go in towards hell. It's a decent angle for Logan, but Knights able to connect for the headshot through the wall. That's enough to get us right back to tied.
That was close. That was super close. Seemed like QOR had an idea that the shear was placed front B. And they put that smoke, and Darkest wanted to get it active and then try and work the map after that. But Nismo just got in the smoke and got a free kill.
Yep.
Things just fell apart from there. Just a little misread on the situation over at B.
Sometimes it be like that. There's a look at it once again. Yeah, Darkest, you're absolutely right. Either he's looking for info in the dark cover or he's trying to proc to see if there's a shear there, but instead he runs into his counterpart.
Yeah, and at that point, the QOR players, they feel like they have to work the map elsewhere, and we're so ready for that.
Aggressive fault line salvo combination coming out, but Timo, with a little bit of support, is able to hang on the backside of this dark cover for a touch longer than maybe you would have anticipated, but he does get tagged and is going to respect that there could be a flood on the way. Follow-up shock dart, that made Chunk a touch. Very well placed. Yeah, Scuba's down to a single point where the health. Logan behind the fast lane has not been seen as of yet. How many can he grab though? Only one. And Cubert will successfully get on A.
These 8 hits have just been sublime from Cubert. Again, it's just all of this regimented util that is overwhelming QOR.
Yeah, there's just no way to rotate in. We talked about that early on in this, well, in the Cubert offensive half. The first execute was maybe not as clean as you would have expected, but there's just never a chance for a QOR to rotate into A. And now it's just gotten even more polished. The vault line out, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's done. It doesn't matter. Purely visual.
Yep. They just have to run out into the choke. They're forced out by the missiles. Cubert making it look so easy when they get into those hits. Redux going to pick up the op here on defense. We do not have the opping breach on attack. Cubert have a chance to finally put the nail in the coffin in this game. Winning 7 of the last 9 rounds to bring this to OT. Stay in the game. A couple match point opportunities. Can this finally be the conversion for them?
Similar utility for Cubert over towards A long. A little bit of a different look here as Scuba's playing a bit of a corner. Rose will pop with the Razor. That will stop the play at Garage for now. Defense not really committing to rotating over. Instead, Knights just tries to take a raw gunfight. That doesn't work out. Paranoia stops the play through C long, but they can wait. Scuba's only able to grab one. This is going to be a take of the C site with rotations still on their way.
And Nismo, a couple flashes, but Redux with this op going to be awkward to try and get in, make space as the Neon. Going to trade over, throws T-Dog the rifle, or the operator, excuse me, so he can pick up the rifle.
I mean, Knight's weapon's right there at Garage. They should be able to grab that and take this into 3 rifles, but not the case initially. Good flash. Redux following up, but only finds one. Nismo now over to Garage. Last hope. 1v2 situation. Caught in a crossfire. First shots are good, and Nismo transfers over. Finds the win, and with that, Cubert survived through the heroics of QOR Gaming to take map number 1.
It is genuinely so impressive that they were able to win that map out despite the miracle rounds, as you said, that we witnessed on more than several occasions, insane multi-kills, insane 2 versus 5s, etc. And they get it over the finish line by just having far superior play with the utility overall. Those executes that they had on attack were so good, so well drilled. You can really see the effort that this team has put in as far as just having great team play, right?
Yep.
Got to give credit to the coaches there as well, as far as all that goes. But yeah, really nicely done by Cubert at the end of the day.
Mental composure. That has to be one of the questions. If Cubert ended up making it through this, got to talk about like how taxing was that to get 2v5s, 3v5s, 2v4s, a couple of hero moments here and there for Core Gaming, a couple of thrifties as well. Nothing short of exciting, tell you that much for map number 1 for one reason or another, friends. Head to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Cubert to get onto their map selection, which will be split for map number 2.
I'd say it's a little bit different. It's a different aspect. It's like picking up any new player, different personalities, different backgrounds, like different amounts of experience. So I'd say it's a challenge in its own aspect. Especially like with Timotino, he's less experienced, hasn't played challengers before, but he's like proven me a lot. He's made me proud. So I'd say just like teaching them what our system is, because every team has different systems. It's like, what is the system for core? So that's like been the biggest thing. We've been like preaching that, like, yo, we do things like this way here. Like maybe you did it on this team, but like this is how we do it here. Like we're gonna do stuff like this, right? So just teaching them like our way, like the core way. I guess like consistency is like a big one, I'd say. And that's still a big challenge for every single team, including this one. We're still trying to find like our footing, our consistency. But I would just say like the mood's always high, no matter what. We lose a couple rounds and it's like, all right, whatever, like next round mentality. We like to have that like short-term memory loss. Like who cares? We get 1v5 next round, doesn't matter. We get, I don't know, something happens, off collateral and a clutch, like it doesn't matter. We're always going to the next round. We're always in high spirits, and we just try to focus on winning that next round. I would say consistent improvement. We're gonna work hard every single day, day in, day out. We had our first match already. We won map 1. We ended up getting reverse sweeped. Tough loss, but there's so much to learn from these matches, right? You can learn a lot from scrims, but match reps are like so much different, and you just learn so much more, like how people react to certain situations. So I'd say throughout every single match this season, you're going to see improvement, and we are really trying to dominate this season when it comes to the end of it. So maybe week 1, maybe week 2 won't look so good, but by the end of the season, like we'll look good. We're like low experience as a team. We just started practicing like a few weeks ago as a 5, compared to some other teams who've been together for months, potentially even like last season. So we're still working together. We're still trying to find our footing, but just consistent improvement.